everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. So excited to be with you on a Saturday talking real estate. The weather's great. The market's heating up. And it's always a pleasure to be in the studio with you guys. Always having a blast. And, as the weather changes, what is it like to get sunlight out there? I know we had a lot of rain the last couple of weeks and a little gloomy, a little cold, but the weather's changing and the real estate market is not far behind it. It's heating up. It's one of the busiest January and Februarys we've seen in a long time. And that kind of leads to our show today. And I think it's a really good topic. We know the spring market is right around the corner. And so we're talking about today, what are the best home improvements to boost your home's value? I guess best bang for your dollar, right? What's the best improvements that I can make now, Ryan, if I'm planning to sell this year? And what things do I not want to do? So we're talking about that and so much more on the second half with Real Estate with Ryan. So we got a really good show for you. Hope everybody's been doing well. Busy. The market's been busy. And I got some congrats starting before we start the show. So it's a long list. So I'm going to kind of jump right into it. So new listings, congrats, all in one format here. So we got new listing on 405 Colonial. Then we got 4517 hitting the market in days, Alyssa Berry Drive in Knoxville. Brand new listing there. 4-bedroom home, fenced in backyard. Make sure you check that property out. We got 5120 Luttrell Road. New property there listed. Over 1 acre. So make sure we check that property out. Let's see what else we have here. 1833 Edwards Drive in Sevierville. Beautiful 2-story home, 2-car garage, HOA neighborhood. Make sure you check that property out. Huge bonus room over the garage. We got 1321 Ridgefield Drive, new listing. They got 103 Brookview Drive. Make sure you check that property out. Some congrats on pendings. Congrats to the Lopez's on 115 Lunar Way in Maryville. Under contract in less than 5 days on the market. 570 Flamingo. Try to read here. 570 Flamingo Circle Drive in Townsend. Congrats. 514 Cabrera Drive in Knoxville. Condo. Super congrats. 1609 Tipton Station Road in Knoxville. Congrats. 2110 Newbert Road. That was relation to April's family. So congrats on that in Knoxville, under contract, record time. And to the Allens, congrats. Little story. Congrats. They listened to the radio for a while. Been avid listeners. Just sold their home in Hardin Valley. Super great clients. And we won't go into all the details. But, talking about real estate as you're moving forward in 2024, the market is all over the board. And as an election year, we always talk about, you really never know what to get. So we're working with our great clients there. And as everything goes perfect in life, everything was smooth, ready to go to closing. And then the unthinkable happens, right? They said, Ryan, don't talk about that on the radio. But I think it's a good opportunity to talk about it, right? So sometimes as perfect as things go, as the financing, some things happen at the last minute. And that's why you got to have a great team on your side that will not quit. There's no quitting Hometown over here. We're all the way to the end. And so we had this little hiccup, which is almost every seller's nightmare. And I think every time we list a property, we sell a property, I have a lot of clients that said, Ryan, really it should be normal in this state that when we sell, when we close, we got 30 days to get out. What do you think, guys? Isn't that valid? Because all the onus is on the seller. Seller has to find somewhere else to live. A lot of times we're doing the domino effect, right? We have to sell this property, buy something, and then sometimes it's out of state, right? And then so they have to secure that property. And then what else? That buyer may be buying something else. So it's a true domino effect. Well, like anything, my poor sellers had this happen prior. And they said, Ryan, this happened to us. And they told me this during the first listing. And you always hear these stories, and they're horror stories, right? We packed up the whole house, and only to find out a day later that the deal fell through. And those are just horror stories. Well, we'll just go in to say the day before the sellers were signing, it sounded like Murphy was knocking again. And all of a sudden, with another agent involved, said, hey, we've got a little issue with the lender. So long story, buyer didn't file tax returns. We get into the long story. We'll get into the details. Things beyond our control. Well, let me just tell you, we got involved. We got teamwork working. We got it solved. We got the buyer down to the IRS. We got them solving problems, and we got it closed the other day. So super congrats. It was only a couple days delay, but a lot of stress. I know, I'm sorry, a lot of stress, but we're able to get that going. So the moral of the story is always have a great team with you. Never count on it closing until it closes. But I do know it's stressful. That's why we do this show. That's what we talk about, guys. One of the most stressful things that you can do is buy or sell real estate, because one of those things happens right there. And to kind of piggyback on what my clients were saying, it is challenging because the buyers in this particular situation, they were more worried about their earnest money, whether my whole seller moved out, got an apartment, and I had a house empty. It was off the market for a little bit of time. So keep that in mind. You got to do your diligence when you're selling this year, guys. So if you're on the market, make sure you do your diligence. If you're not working with us, make sure you hire an agent. And when you hire that agent, make sure they're doing the checklist. Make sure they're checking the appraisals. Make sure all the income's in. Hey, make sure they file their taxes for 24 and 23. All these things are very, very important. We take it for granted. And then we have to also know that we're doing a little bit of behind the scenes on the lenders and the title companies as well, because sometimes things get missed and we don't want that particular issue to happen. Even though we diverted it, we want a smooth closing. And that's the goal here on every deal that we do. So I had to talk about that a little bit, guys, on the radio. The Allens really appreciated the effort and the teamwork, and I really appreciated them not only listening to us for years, but being such great clients and working through it as a team to get it done. So that's what we strive to do. So let's get into the show. Let's talk about some improvements that you're thinking of selling this year. What can we do, Ryan, that'll give me the most bang for my dollar? Well, according to a recent cost versus value reporting from remodeling.com, the most home improvement projects will add value to your home, but not all remodeling will increase your home's value enough to recoup an entire cost of an improvement. Makes sense. So in some cases, your upgrade may not increase the value of your home at all, but you and your family will enjoy it during your living time at the property. And so I think that's so true. A lot of our high-end properties that we have, maybe we added a pool, maybe we added different upgrades. A lot of the upgrades will come into, are we doing them for the enjoyment for our family, our grandkids, and things like that? And do they relate to the open market to kind of get that return? Hey, Ryan, I added $150,000 for the pool. I did this landscaping at 30. I did a swing set. I did, a combination of things, right? And can we add those up when it's time to sell and pass that list to the buyer? Sometimes you can. The higher end properties, not so much. Another thing to keep in mind, because of COVID and the supply chain issues and the rising cost of inflation, that seems to be all we talk about is inflation. Cost of home improvements have been way up. So the ROI on a home improvement is not as big as it used to be a year ago. For example, replacing your front door with a new steel entry door returned over 91% of its $1,471 cost back in 2018. The same project in 22 is $2,206. That's only a 63% return. So you got to keep in mind that going forward. And there's improvements that you're going to make if you're planning to stay in the home. Obviously, if you got 4 kids, 2 adults, 1 bathroom, that's not the kind of math that you want to make. And you want to consider adding another bathroom. No more waiting in line for the shower. Adds tons of values to the house. We've got a great property that we've listed. It's on the market. And I think that's one of the things that in today's market that I was talking with the seller this week, had a great conversation, beautiful remodel, right? But it has 1 bath. And it's not a downside because you get a small couple or newly married couple, it's going to be perfect for them. But the 1 bath in today's society is very limited. So if you're thinking about doing that remodel, and listen, I was telling my seller the same. I said, listen, I did a remodel not long ago in North Knoxville, and the home was older. It was in the probably 1900s. It was an older historic area, but it only had 1 bath. That was very common back then. But probably looking back at it, was one of my biggest downfalls that I didn't add that half bath or that extra full bath. Not only is it open to more people in the marketplace, but your price range, your comparables, and the resale value on that property opens it up dramatically. So keep that in mind. If you have a 1 bathroom, a half bath, if you can put it in there, is very functional. So keep that in mind. in general, projects that add square footage is a great investment. So I have so many people that have the basement for unfinished square footage or that bonus room over the garage that maybe is not finished. If you're ever going to add value, not only for your family to enjoy for more space, maybe that office, resale, if you can add cheap or inexpensive square footage, is always going to be the best move. And then if you're thinking about selling in a couple of years, that extra space, obviously, in square footage will help for the next family. We're coming on the second half, Real Estate with Ryan. Stay with us here in just a few moments.
There's no place like home, and this basketball house is special. The great games, players, championships, it's a true home court advantage.
I'm Ryan Coleman. Both basketball and real estate take great drive and determination. Whether you're in the market to buy or sell a home,
let Hometown Realty give you the home court advantage.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no-obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you. All right, we're back at it, Real Estate with Ryan. Second half. Thank you for staying tuned. Having a good show for you. We're talking about home improvements. What can you do this year? Spring's around the corner. What can we do to add the most value for our renovation? So we're covering that and so much more. And then a little bit later, we're going to talk about are more homeowners entering the marketplace as the rates come down. I know the Feds talked a little bit the other day. We were expecting, right, in March that rates are going to adjust a little bit. But the inflation report shows we're about 3.1%. And long story short, we're expected that now March may leave rates unchanged, and it may be in May. So who knows with this wonky government and what's going on out there, really what's going to happen. We know it's election year, and more than likely there's going to be some changes out there. But what does it mean to the real estate market? What we're seeing in a dramatic format is more listings rising dramatically. Sales are going under contract quicker. And I think a lot of conversations that we're having, and you guys as well, a lot of people put their plans on hold last year. And not knowing where the rates were going, not knowing where the Feds were going, not knowing if we were going to see 9% interest rates, right? We didn't see that. The signaling looks like they're not going to go any higher. I've got a customer right now on a $1 million purchase plus, and he's waiting and just kind of floating the interest rates right now. So that's a little bit of a dice, but it looks like there are going to be some adjustments this year. And sellers are taking advantage. And I think most people don't realize that there's going to be a lot of people this year. We just have to move. Great customers that I just left with not long ago, their lease ended. The sellers decided to sell. And guess what? They're in the marketplace. I've got new people that are coming in. They're going to sell their home from out of state. They're looking for acreage. They're relocating. And I've got so many people that are moving close to grandbabies, and they don't care. Cash, doesn't matter, Ryan. Sell my house. And how important it is to be close to those grandbabies. New listing that we listed in Oak Ridge, and he's got a new job offer, and they're going to be close to mom. They'll be close to mom, to her mom, about 3 hours out. And it's their first grandchild. So how important is that? So super exciting things like that. This is going to be a busy, busy marketplace. And before kind of finishing to the show, encourage you guys that if you're thinking about buying or selling, we're talking about these home improvements that you're going to make. And what improvements do I make or what I don't? We'll make it very easy for you. All you have to do is call the office. It's an easy call. 693-SOLD, 693-SOLD, or you can go to my website at ryancoleman.org. You can put your information in. We'll give you a free evaluation online with sales. You don't even have to talk to anybody. But you can encourage us to come out, and I would encourage you to do that because as the marketplace is a little different. So as I said, one of the great sellers or buyers that I was talking to today, he said, Ryan, is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? I said, that's a really good question. It's neither. He said, huh? Neither. I said, our inventory is such where we don't have 6 months supply. So we're under 3,800 homes on the market. So that's good for the sellers, right? But the market is a little soft in some areas. So then there's a great opportunity for buyers, right? Interest rates are still not exactly where we want to be. So it's better than what we've seen in 2 years for both sides. He said, that's interesting. And that's kind of really where we're at in today's marketplace. Before we get going, we're going to start with our 60-second Vol update. Vol Nation in the house. Let's get drum roll, please. All right. Hard to believe that the orange and white game is literally in April 13th. Big deal. I think April said that they're only going to allow 10,000 people because they're doing construction. So make sure you get your tickets online. Good opportunity to see the Vols in action. It's going to be an exciting year this year. We've got 3 men's games coming up. We've got 3 men chosen for the NFL Combine. We've got Joe Milton, our guy there, Jalen Wright, and Kamal Hedden. I guess I'm pronouncing it right. All for the NFL Combine coming up here. Congrats to those Vols. Men's basketball coming up Saturday, today, versus Vandy, 6 o'clock in the house. We've got women on Sunday, Vandy, 2 p.m. So that's what we've got going on. That's our 60-second Vol update. Hometown Realty, proud sponsor of the Vols. Go Big Orange. All right, let's go back into the improvements. So from the first segment, we were talking about what things will make a difference. Obviously, high-value home improvements like replacing vinyl siding with stone veneer accents is up 91% over. So $11,000 adjustment. Replacing vinyl siding is a $67,000 improvement in value. Sorry, tongue-tied there. And then wood deck addition is a 64% addition. Now, inside a minor kitchen remodel, you'll earn as much as 72% back on a $28,000 cost. That includes replacing outdated appliances, refacing the cabinets, adding new hardware, updating those laminate countertops and sink, and maybe replacing the floors as well. Now, there's also some improvements to avoid when planning to sell. And we get into these, and this may be where, hey, is it for my personal use? We needed to upgrade that shower. We wanted to do the fancy bath. That's okay. But if we're planning to sell, just know that we may not get all those costs out of the resale. Upscale bathroom addition could be up to $114,000, and that gives you up to 51% in the red. And then our upscale master suite edition, 46% value, and that could be up to $300,000, 46% in the red. And then upscale major kitchen remodel, which you can spend all kinds of money, guys. Ladies, it doesn't take much to spend in the kitchen. That's an average of $158,000 remodel in the red, 52%, regaining the money. While these improvement choices aren't bad, they aren't the best improvements for adding value if you're thinking about selling your house. If you go too swanky on the bathroom, obviously think about it. And that's why we encourage you to give us a call. Let us come by, walk through. If you're preparing to go on the market, we can give you some tips and some pointers so that when you put it on the market, your money's well spent, okay? Free of charge, doesn't cost anything. We're here to help you. Let's talk about some boosting value in specific rooms. Real quickly, you got your foyer entry area, any kind of banisters, refreshing the floors are good ideas. Garage, replacing garage floors, shelving. The garage floor, if you do the epoxy, is very, very popular. There's something to some of these properties where the garage is kind of blah, and you do the epoxy and you paint it. There's a big difference. A lot of people are utilizing their garages for workout space, different things like that. It makes a big value. No demo renovations. Keep that in mind. Painting, where you can do painting, make it neutral. Lighting, front door, nothing wrong with that curb appeal. If you want to change out that old front door and screen door, make sure you do that. Home office is important. So if you have that room that's in the property that is perfect for, I think so many people are now have realized that since COVID, going back to the home office is a big, big deal. I mean, I can't tell you how many people that we're working with from out of state that the first thing we're saying is their internet, is their high-speed internet, and does it have that home office? So even if you guys are using one of the offices that would be maybe the kids' room, or maybe you got that formal living room and you've got it at the office, or it's something different now, when we go back to put the home on the market, staging that for a virtual office or an office is very appealing and is worth your while. Landscaping, as we approach the spring market, there's nothing more important than having that curb appeal when we pull up. It's nothing more important because the curb appeal and when everything's green and lush, it's what really make our pictures and our marketing online. But we still do drive-bys today. A lot of our buyers, we encourage, how do you know the neighborhood? You get by and ride by, talk to neighbors. And so if they're not appealed by the outside and it's not fresh on the outside, then more than likely that's going to hurt our chances for showing. So make sure as we approach the weather, we get our curb appeal and our landscaping where we need to be. Let's talk about the homeowners selling this year. We said that we've been extremely busy January and February, right? I mean, record-setting February and January. So, we're exceeding probably 75 listings on the market. So it's pretty strong. And, of course, I have a seller that said, hey, well, how many are you selling? Well, we're selling a lot, sir. I think we sold 10 last week. So, it comes in seasons, and you guys have to understand that in the market, January is always a little bit difficult. It's coming out of Christmas, and it's usually cold and snow and weather. But our business is all or nothing business, where it's all or nothing. And so our team has just been extremely busy, and we expect that the remaining part of the year. But the mortgage rate lock effect means the past year that really wanted to see where rates would be. The lack of housing supply was driven by the rate lock effect. Higher rates and incentive for existing homeowners to list their property and moved into a new one diminished. And so now there's early signs that homeowners are ready to move again. 2023, we had 235,000 plus that are thinking about entering the marketplace as source of realtor.com. This is the first time since 2020 we've seen an uptick in new listings in this time of year. What does it mean for you? Buyers, more opportunity, more homes to choose from. And I think, that was one of the biggest challenges we've seen, is that you got to sell something and got to go somewhere. And so we're starting to see a lot of inventory into the marketplace. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Love being with you every week. Look forward to seeing you guys next weekend with Real Estate with Ryan. Enjoy your weekend. Go Vols. Have a great week.